If you had a watermelon, stick with me here, okay? If you had a watermelon and a samurai sword, and the goal was to cut through that watermelon, well, that'd be pretty easy for you, wouldn't it? In fact, you wouldn't have to do very much to cut through the watermelon with a very sharp samurai sword. You just kind of stand back and it'd cut right through it. Now, on the other hand, if you had a very dull sword, or it was just this kind of piece of metal, very dull, and you had to try and cut through the watermelon, well, it just bounced off the watermelon. You'd have to go up to it and start sawing it, and it'd be very difficult to achieve your goal of cutting through the watermelon, right? So let's use these two examples to represent your focus. Let's use the watermelon to represent your goal. The samurai sword is a very well-developed, sharp focus, singular focus. That's easy. The dull piece of metal, the rusty piece of metal, is very difficult. That is a dull, scattered attention, scattered focus, and it makes it very difficult to cut through the watermelon. Now, where are we going with this? The devil just needs you distracted. Nothing more. The devil just needs you distracted. He knows that that's enough. Because he knows when you have your goal and you go and try to cut through it with that dull piece of metal, it's going to be very difficult. And you're going to give up pretty easy on that. On the other hand, with the samurai sword, that is a very well-developed focus, a singular focus, an ability to sit with a project, with a goal for an extended period of time, to effortlessly cut through that thing and achieve your goal. With the samurai sword, it is much easier. With the dull piece of metal, it is much more difficult. So the devil just needs you distracted. That's it. Reality creation needs your focus. Needs a well-developed, singular focus and ability to sit with a task, sit with a project for an extended period of time. And that's where you cut through the surface level of it and you reach a depth with your work. And your work reflects that. People hear it in your voice. People see it in the quality of your work. It's super obvious when someone can reach a depth with what they're working on. You see, with that dull piece of metal, that's where you always remain on the surface level of reality. That's where it becomes very difficult for you to get what you want. That's where you go up to the watermelon and you start sawing through it and you're like, That's where you go up to the watermelon and start cutting through it and you start looking at other people and what they're doing and you get distracted. What? To practice a singular focus is where you develop your attention, you develop your focus, and that's where you become deadly. That's where you cut through things with ease. That's where you cut through the surface level of reality and you find that, wow, you can reach quite a depth with your projects if you just spent more time on them and didn't break your focus on them. The devil just needs you distracted, and that's enough.